I'm here with our good friends. And when I listen to you, I don't know whether because you say when your nickname was Locks, but you said Lokko. Is it Lokko or Lokko?
My surname's Lokko.
Lokko.
L-O-K-K-O. But my street name used to be Locks. L-O-X.
But son, when you said it, you said Lokko. Do you call it when you were on the TED Talk? You called yourself.
It's Karl Lokko.
Lokko.
It depends what room I'm in, my man.
Are you Lokko or Lokko? You don't know. Because sometimes you're Lokko.
Lokko.
Lokko. More in Lokko than Lokko. Okay. If you're with posh people, are you Lokko? And if you're straight people, you're Lokko.
You're catching on, my man.
Anyway. Karl and Cassandra, you're so many things. But I mean, you're obviously, Karl, you're an ex-gang leader, but you're also like a rapper, a poet, now a huge activist, adventurer, charity worker, and Cassandra, you're also all these things and an influencer, huge influence on Instagram. But just for people who don't know you, can you just do a real quick summary of your backgrounds and like the gang culture you were in, Cassandra, your background as well?
Yeah, cool. Where to start? So I grew up in Brixton, South London, and my estate was actually an estate called Mitesford Estate. Growing up on Mitesford Estate was not normal. I witnessed first person I actually witnessed being shot, I was about 12 years old. And the shooter, after actually discharging the firearm, ran back to where me and my friends were playing a game of football and literally told us to pass him the ball. And he stayed with us until the police came and went. And that was my sort of introduction into kind of gangland London. I was scared stiff for about another year. And then some other kind of circumstances led to me actually subscribing and saying that if you can't beat them, you join them, you know. And I ended up doing that in a very trivial way initially, you know, just a group of other kind of frightened boys that said, let's be frightened together. And when we were frightened together, we were less frightened, you know. And immediately we felt the results of that. You know, we felt a sense of belonging. We felt a little bit less scared. You know, we felt a bit more self-esteem. And yeah, we just kept on building upon that, if you want to call it building. You know, and by the age of 14, we ended up making the front page of every newspaper in the country. It made us pop up on a lot of people's radars, and we had to react to that. And in part of that reaction, friends lost their lives, you know.
But then you met Pastor Mimi?
Yeah, she used to teach numeracy and literacy to us when we were preteens, you know, and fast forward now, she's seen what myself, her son, and some others are involved in, and she can't get rid of the picture of our innocence, you know, so she's not, you know, it's not computing for her, so she ended up trying to reach out.
And you encountered Jesus through her?
I did, in a huge way, actually. It was quite miraculous, the conversion. And
Cassandra, you also had quite a story encountering Jesus.
Yeah, literally. Growing up, we wasn't really stable. So my mum and dad broke up when I was maybe 11, and from there we was evicted from most houses. So from being 11 to about 20, I moved over 15 times. So I was quite depressed, quite insecure, ended up trying to take my own life. And then Pastor Mimi's son invited me to church, and I was like, you know what, I've tried everything. I've tried to fill this void that I'm feeling with everything else. I might as well just try Jesus. So I went to church, and at the first sitting, I was just crying uncontrollably. I didn't really understand it. I was like, I don't know their Jesus that they talk about, but I understand the love in the room, and I can feel the love in the room. And then I just didn't leave. We got married maybe a year after.
Yeah, I've seen the video of it. What was that wedding? I've never seen anything like that.
It was a big celebration.
How did you pull that off? That was unbelievable.
You know, I don't even know how we did pull it off, to be honest.
It was miraculous in itself, actually.
It was beautiful. You called it #Royal Wedding.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was like a royal wedding, wasn't it?
Yeah.
literally. And that was before we actually got invited
To the royal wedding.
Prince Harry became a good friend of yours, didn't he? And then you were at the royal, and that looked amazing too. I mean, you've moved from this like the gang world to royalty, and Richard Branson like taking you to Necker Island in his private plane. These two worlds that you've been in that are what are the similarities and what are the differences?
Oh, I think the similarities is just the fact that everyone's human. Like,
Which we didn't think.
yeah. And then to be pleasantly surprised, actually, to just meet people with anxieties, fears, hopes, concern, some joy.
I think that's where we really realized that money isn't everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that money isn't everything. I think growing up without money, you think money's everything.
Yeah.
But just knowing that, we're all human. We all have, things that we are insecure about, sad about, happy about. Yeah.
Absolutely. And the differences is everything else you can imagine. I mean, there's two totally different worlds.
And do you think like the background that you've come from, how is that helping that in this situation where there's so much uncertainty and chaos, with your experience again of all that, is that helping you to cope at this time?
The situation that's happening outside is very real. However, being kind of conditioned by such volatile environments, I do have a level of, not immunity, I won't call it immune, but I am pretty chilled out, and I think that even happens when things do actually hit the fan. It doesn't change.
Yeah,
it's
so calm and collected.
Like something could like go boom there. And I've just realized and learned that panic doesn't serve me in certain situations. I've seen those that have exerted energy to panic when it should have been to either take flight or fight, and the ramifications have been dire. So I've been kind of tuned by that, and over here the way, so if that answers your question, Nicky.
Yeah. What about you, Cassandra? How are you finding it? How watching him, just his kind of experience of gangs and danger and uncertainty and chaos, do you think that is affecting how he responds and how you respond to this current situation?
I think especially over the years, seeing him always, even the same when Lion wasn't feeling too well and how he reacted.
Lion's your almost 2-year-old son.
Almost 2-year-old son, yeah.
How Karl always reacts to even like maybe Lion going to fall, or he just never panics. And I think that's slowly rubbing off on me. I'm more of a person that can panic, can get scared, can be nervous, can be thinking, oh, what's happening, especially when things are uncertain. But being around him is kind of balancing me out. It's really balancing me out. So.
And she's giving me panic.
And it's interesting that your response to this is I think probably very different from many people who've never had to face, like I think that's true for us. We haven't fought in the world wars. We've had this generation that has never had to worry that bombs are going to drop on us, that we have to wake up the following morning. But actually in your background, you might not wake up the following morning. You might be shot, you might be stabbed, you might be dead the next day.
Absolutely. I mean, I've got back pains to this day because I slept with my level 3 bulletproof vest on. And that was because I had heard of a situation where a young man was actually murdered. He was shot at point blank in his bed while he slept with submachine guns, and that was literally down the road from where I lived, so I mean, it was a reality for sure.
So Cassandra, how does that affect you and how you respond? Having had friends who've been shot and so on, how does that affect how you respond in this a situation of danger and chaos and uncertainty now that we're facing?
I think, like I said, all that I think I've been through, and then obviously coming to church, I think I just am assured that God can and God is able, and I'm assured that in this situation, it's God that's going to come out on top. And like, I just feel like that's what everything that I've been through shows me. Like, no matter what, even if like there has been people that have died, like I said, friends have lost family members because of the coronavirus, but I just know that God is still going to be glorified for it. So I think that's my stance. Even though I have been a bit fearful at times because it is really uncertain times. And most people around, like you said, we haven't been in a time where there's been war, etc. But I've been in some really bad times, like really bad. Even when Carl was saying, when we first came to church, we was dealing with so much, like people coming in from gangs and different backgrounds and going, and yet God still was glorified and God came out on top. So I just, when we're going through it, I'm like, okay, this is a hard time right now, but I know it's going to get better.
Yeah.
So,
And just again, the prayer stuff that you're doing, just say a little bit more about the praying and the worshiping and the Bible study that you're doing together.
Yeah, we're just I feel like this has been such a revival for me, is even spiritually, just in terms of we're studying the word, we're going even deeper into the word. We've just got extra time. There's no, like, I've done all-nighters basically praying and being on like an apps and just praying with other friends, and just everyone's just stirring each other up and encouraging each other in God, and we're just doing the same.
Thank you to Karl and Cassandra Lokko, or Karl and Cassandra Lokko. We love you guys. Thank you so much.
Bye.
God bless.